are you today? Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week so far. Welcome to Real Talk Live with Lane and Trish. As you can see, one part of the equation is missing this evening, but pretty sure I can hold down the fort. We've got some really great information to go over with you guys today. But first, let's talk a little bit about this last week. Our week was super busy. We've done a whole lot since we talked with you guys live last Wednesday. I know last weekend we had another really incredible Ferrari Kid event. It was one of our big ones. We do it every single year. Rented out a big, huge theater. This time we were over at the Silverado 16 off of 1604 in Bandera here in San Antonio. And rented out an entire theater, had 200 kids and their families come and enjoy first a red carpet experience, of course, photos, all that kind of fun stuff, but then they got to watch the Incredibles 2 movie and everyone had a whole lot of fun. So it's one of my favorite events we do each year, and it was incredible this year again. We actually packed every seat in the house, ran out of room, had to get a few more tickets for one of the other shows for some kids that showed up, and it was awesome. So had a great time doing that on Saturday. Sunday, we hosted a really awesome open house at a beautiful home out in Coronado, which is a community here in San Antonio. It's in far north San Antonio, new construction home, beautiful house. So we had a whole lot of fun doing that, got to meet some great people during that as well. And then Sunday had a really awesome class that we got to be a part of that was all about working with for sale by owner clients. So different things, people are going, through in their process when they're looking to sell and trying not to use an agent in the process or the reasoning they do that and things like that. But it was a really informative class. So I think I'm going to take a little of the information that we gathered from that class that we had and maybe do another smaller session class with some of the agents. So if you are interested, if you're an agent and you're interested in a for sale by owner type of class, let me know and I can add you to the list for when we're going to schedule that. But again, great weekend. We've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up too that I'm pretty excited about. So next week, next Wednesday, usually you see us here at 7 p.m. obviously, but we're going to have to reschedule. We still will have our live session on Wednesday, but I've got to do it at a different time. So we will most likely do it a little earlier. I'm thinking maybe about a 3 p.m. I will update you guys, of course, though, once we confirm that. But not sure if y'all are familiar with the Inspiring Woman book, which is here in San Antonio. The latest edition is coming out. It features typically 50 women, quotes by those women who are inspiring and do things like that. And I am actually featured in the book. So the book launch is this coming Wednesday down at the Plaza Club. So I'm super excited to go get to be a part of that, see the book. I haven't gotten to see it yet. And of course, meet all the other incredible women that are being featured in the book. It's going to be a really fun evening. So I'm super, super excited about that. And then we're in the planning process right now too for a couple really big events. So one of the first ones is going to be on July 12th. And that's with Women's Council of Realtors, and it's called our Hot Havana Nights event. So it is pretty much for industry people. So if you're in the real estate industry at all here and you want to attend, it is open to everyone. Going to be a super fun event that we're having at the Edison Experiment on the 12th of July. So I will be posting information out about that, on how you can get tickets or get involved if you want to do some sponsorship. Lots of opportunity for that. And then we are currently planning someone's birthday. So I'm not super excited about this birthday, but we're going to make it fun anyway. So you'll see me posting some stuff out about that too. We're going to have a little party and have everyone get together and help me celebrate. So that kind of wraps up what we've been doing, what we are doing. Let me open this up so that I can see any of you guys chatting with me too. Awesome. Got it? Okay. And so we are starting part 2 of our 3-part series today. So part 1 we did last week. This is our series on how to take a tactical approach to buying a home in an ultra competitive market. And obviously we are still in a very competitive market right now. So last week we did part 1, which was the importance of a pre-approval, as well as a little bit of lender selection in there and how to go about that portion of it, which is obviously very important. Step 2, or part 2, which is today, is going to be on structuring and presenting an offer that is strong, but that will also position you to be in a better spot to have your offer looked at more seriously and hopefully be one that is accepted, especially when you're in a multiple offer situation. So I've kind of put together some tips here. I put them 8 tips on how to put the offer together and present it. Obviously, you're going to want to have a very qualified real estate agent, realtor, helping you with this process, and they will not only help you with your negotiating and structuring of the offer, but obviously helping as far as talking with the other side, the listing agent, finding out the specifics on what's going on that side, and then of course putting the offer together and presenting it. So it is a process, and there are definitely things that you can do that will put you in a better position to have a stronger offer. So we're going to go over some of those. So step 1, you want to make your offer as clean as possible. And this isn't just the actual presentation of it and the fact that it looks nice and it's put together well, which is part of what your qualified agent will do, but it's the terms of the offer. So when we say clean, basically we don't want anything out of the ordinary. We want to see that everything is put together, but also that you are asking for as little as possible. And I know, we've seen different markets where closing costs are, something we roll in, or in warranties and stuff like that. But in this type of market, if you're looking at a property that it has the potential for being in a multiple offer situation, or it's this kind of situation where it's just come on the market and you don't want to miss out on it before it gets snatched up, you definitely want to ask for as little as possible in your offer. So that means minimal, if not no asking for seller concessions. So with seller concessions, we're talking about things like the seller helping pay your closing costs, paying towards a home warranty for you, things like that, things that are actually going to cost them money, possibly even the title policy. It's typically a seller paid expense, but we do see sometimes in this kind of market that the buyer will pick up that expense so that their offer stands out. So things to consider, obviously minimizing what the seller is going to have to pay for is going to be something that's attractive to a seller when they're looking at offers. Number 2, as far as your tips, is not to ask for personal property. And with personal property, again, typically there'll be things that are your exclusion list, so things the seller has specifically excluded from what's included in the property. It could be certain things like maybe a really shiny, nice chandelier. It could be a playscape in the backyard, or maybe patio furniture, things like that aren't typically included. And while you may have your eye on one of them or really like it, if you're trying to compete in this market, it is best if it's an excluded item to leave it out and not ask for it. Number 3 is going to be put down more earnest deposit. So when you're putting down your earnest money deposit, typically what's traditional is going to be about 1% of the sales price. And so if you want to show the seller that you're more serious, we'll often see buyers put a larger amount down towards their earnest, and basically it's showing of good faith that you truly are very serious about the property. Number 5 is going to be, if possible, waiving the appraisal contingency. And what I mean by the appraisal contingency, so when you're getting a loan for a property, the lender is going to obviously send out an appraiser, and they're going to assess what the value of the property is based off what they're willing to loan on the property. And in this type of market, we will often see that prices are going up pretty quickly just because of a basic supply and demand principle. So when we see prices go up quickly like that, sometimes the appraised values don't go up quite as quickly, and we can see sometimes a gap between what the appraiser says the house is worth and what the market value of the house is, which is where the buyers are saying it's worth. And you have the option in the contract of saying that basically if the appraisal comes in under where the sales price is, that you're still willing to pay the sales price, meaning that you will pay the difference in cash. So we know everyone's not in a position to do this, but it is the kind of thing, if the house is, at if you're offering a price that you're comfortable paying for the house, and your real estate agent has, run comps for you and let you know that it is it's a fair price, and if there's other buyers in the market looking at the same house willing to pay the same thing or compete against you in it, having that contingency basically for the appraisal waived and being willing to put down additional cash to make up that difference can be a huge factor when a buyer makes an offer as far as what a seller will like to take. So now, obviously, with talking about that too, we get number 6, which is offer more than asking price. So we see this a lot of the time right now too. So we are seeing properties sell for higher than what the list price is. So we get bidding wars sometimes when we have multiple offers, and again, that kind of falls into line with the last tip, which is if you're willing to pay that difference, you stand a much higher chance of getting your offer accepted. Now, you don't have to waive that appraisal, issue contingency if you don't want, and you may still get your offer accepted. But going in with that higher offer, as long as it's reasonable, you're definitely going to stand out above the other offers that come in lower. So this one too, number 7, be accommodating to the seller's needs. Now this is another area where your real estate agent is going to jump in and help quite a bit. So obviously, as the buyer, you are not aware of what the seller's needs are. You're not typically in communication with the listing agent or the seller, and so your agent should be in very, very close communication with the listing agent. So they need to get with that agent and find out what the seller's specific hot points are. Basically, when do they need to be out of the property? Maybe they want to get out soon. Maybe they want to stay longer for some reason. And what are their hot points? Is it price? Is it time frame? So all of those things coming in together. So by being accommodating, maybe you could have a sooner closing date if it works with your financing, or you could even offer the ability to do a lease back where you actually close on the property and allow the seller to stay in it for a designated period of time while they get everything in position to make whatever move they're making. So knowing these things before you put your offer in is super important, because while we may think that just throwing the highest price offer out there is what's going to win your offer on the house, sometimes terms, closing date, things like that are more important to the seller. So, and then make sure that the offer is complete. Now, this may be something that goes without saying, and you may think, well, duh, yeah, of course the offer should be complete, meaning all the documents for the contract are there, all amendments, any other disclosures, copies of your earnest check and your option check, all signatures, and of course your pre-approval, which we talked about in the last one. You want to make sure all that stuff is neatly and nicely put together in one package and sent over. Obviously, again, this is something that your real estate agent is doing for you, but it's one of those things, again, that goes hand in hand with working with a qualified, experienced agent, that they will take extra care, and extra attention to detail when putting the offer together. So I cannot tell you how many times we get offers in from agents when we have listings and they're a mess and they're hard to sort through, or things are coming through in scattered emails, and oh, here's this, and oh, here's the approval, or I'll send this in a little bit, and it's not fun to go through, and it's hard to get everything put back where it makes as much sense as one that comes in very nice and neat, and that the whole transaction's most likely going to be a little bit more smooth working with that agent and their client than it possibly may be working with another agent and their client who kind of can't get their shit together. So excuse my language, but sometimes things come in and it's like, honestly, it's very obvious that maybe an agent does not know what they're doing. So that is one thing. Make sure that you've got an agent that is knows what they're doing when it comes to getting everything put together. So now I went through 8, but I think I might have skipped one. I'm looking at my notes, and I'm human, so I make mistakes sometimes, but I skipped one through here. So let me see here. I skipped number 3. So consider a shorter option period or financing contingency. So let's jump back to that real quick. And so basically with the option period and your financing contingency, you're typically going to have 7 or 10 days or something like that for your option period, where you're going to get an inspection and take a look at everything that comes back on the inspection report, possibly ask for repairs if there are major items and stuff. Asking for a shorter period of time on that will let the seller know that they're not risking as much time off the market if for some reason during that period things fall apart, which they do sometimes. So shorter option period, make sure that you can get your inspection done, take a look at stuff. Again, your agent's going to be helping schedule all of this stuff, so it's good to make sure you've got an agent that's on top of things. And then when that inspection does more, but when it comes down to more of the trivial stuff, your cosmetic things, even minor plumbing and things like that, we're seeing less and less that sellers are wanting to do those repairs right now in this market. So, and they also know that if they don't have to agree to those repairs during the option period, and if they don't, they very well might have another offer that's waiting right there if yours happens to fall through. So it's really important to make sure that you take whatever time you guys have allotted for your option period, get those items, addressed, and figure out how you want to move on quickly with that. And then same goes with your financing. So you've got a typical amount of time frame to get your financing put together as far as getting an approval. The shorter you can do on that, the better your offer is going to look too. So you do want to, again, make sure you've got a great lender that isn't going to drag the process on. So we've done our 8 tips, and I've actually got an extra tip. So it's a bonus tip that I'm going to throw in here for you guys. So, and it's what I like to call the buyer love letter. So we actually do it on both sides, seller and buyer, but with what we're talking about right now is the buyer love letter. And you may be like, what the heck is a buyer love letter, and why would I want to submit that with an offer for a house? So I have actually seen this work really well when we're presenting offers for buyers. And basically, we have the buyer put together in a nice letter format, a letter to the seller going over the things that they love about the house, things they love about the community. As obviously they've come, they've seen the house, that kind of stuff, and say how they can envision themselves and their family living in the house and in the community and enjoying it. And just why that house would make a big impact on them and their family and stuff. So we like to submit those with our offers to the seller, and also just some things about the buyer. So things that you like. Is it gardening? Is it cooking? I can't wait to cook in this kitchen, or wow, I found the perfect spot in the backyard for a garden. You never know. Sometimes with your sellers, they'll find one thing to connect with in that letter, or you'll kind of pull at their heartstrings a bit if it's in walking distance from the school and you've got a little one and it's just going to be perfect. You just never know. So those kinds of things can help a lot, and so I always do like to throw that one in with the offer. And you never know, if it helps even just one little bit, then it's done its job. So that's basically I guess it wasn't 8 tips, it was 9 tips on how to structure your offer, things to look out for, but then also the presentation of the offer. And a whole lot of this, again, is going to boil down to your agent. Part of it's your job, obviously, and anytime you've got, an agent-client relationship, it is a relationship. There's give and take on both sides. So everyone's got to be working together. And it's not even just a two-person relationship. You've got your lender, you've got your title people, you've got your client, you've got your agent. So everyone's got to work together. And there'll be things that you need to do. There'll be things that the agent needs to do. But it's super important to have a very strong team. And essentially that's what you're forming when you put these relationships together. And it's a beautiful thing when you get a really great, strong team put together. So that's part of what we love to help out with. We like to take each different situation and go, okay, who's the best fit for this client? Who's the best lender for this client? Everything from the program they offer to the personality type. And that can play a huge role in stuff. And then we go, okay, how can we best, take what we do and take what the vendor and the lender and all those people do and put this perfect team together. So the buyer is definitely part of that team. And we love, getting out there, and we love competitive markets, in all honesty, because we know that there are ways that we can be strategic about things and help the buyers, have the best chance of getting their offer accepted and ultimately winning the house that they fall in love with. So I may have been a little bit quicker tonight, being that I don't have my co-anchor, but he will be joining us again next week, and I'd love to answer any questions that you guys have. So if you're in the position where you've been out looking at properties and they're going quicker than then you can get your offers in there, or if you're looking online and finding houses and finding out that by the time you see them online, they're already gone. We deal with that a whole lot right now. So there's a lot of different ways that we can get super prepared and be ready to strike as soon as a house hits the market, when it's the right house for you. So as always, if you have any questions, you can always reach out. You can always call or text me at 210-771-5263. That's my direct cell phone number, so you're always welcome to reach out and let me know anything at all that we can do to help. We, of course, look forward to seeing you soon, and until next time, keep it real and keep moving.